morning everyone. My name is Mrudula, working as Assistant Professor in the Department of Electrical and Electronics Engineering at MLR Institute of Technology, Hyderabad. Today I am going to discuss a topic called DG systems. What is a generator? How does it work? And what are the internal components which are being used in this diesel generator system? And different manufacturers for this DG system are being discussed in this lecture. This is one of the diagram of diesel generator. Here you can see two different pictures. This is the picture of diesel generator, and when the outer frame is being removed, you can see the internal parts in the second picture. How does a diesel generator create the electricity? How generator works? Generator is nothing but which converts the mechanical energy to electrical energy. So this generator are useful for applications that supply the electrical power during a power outage and prevent the discontinuity of daily activities and disruption of the business operation also. Generators are available in different electrical as well as physical configurations for use in different applications. That means the generators can be of different types like AC generators and DC generators, synchronous generators, and based on the application, based on the load which is being connected to the generator and based on the budget, we will decide which type of generator is being applicable for that particular case. So, how does a generator work? An electric generator is a device which converts, as I said, mechanical energy which is being obtained from an external source to the electrical energy as the output. That means the input is the mechanical energy and output is the electrical energy. The input mechanical energy is being, for example, you can take an example of a windmill or a hydropower. These two are one of the examples of the input mechanical energy which is being connected to the generator to convert it into electrical energy. So the modern day generator works on the principle of electromagnetic induction, which is being discovered by the Michael Faraday, which is called as a Faraday's law. So Faraday discovered the above flow of electrical charges which could be induced moving an electrical conductor such as a wire, so which contains electrical charges in the magnetic field. This movement creates a voltage difference between the two ends of a wire or an electrical conductor, which in turn causes the electrical charges to flow, thus generating an electrical energy or electrical current. Main components of a diesel generator. What are the main components? The first component is the engine. The second component is the alternator. Third one is the fuel system. Next one is voltage regulator. Next one is cooling and exhaust system. Means for cooling the machine or for reducing the heat of a machine, we will be using this cooling and exhaust system. Next one is lubrication system. The lubrication system is mainly used for reducing the rubbing of the machine, continuous rubbing of the machine. So in order to increase the lifetime of a machine, we need to lubricate the system. Next one is battery charger in order to store the energy. Next one is control panel in order to control it, that is the on and off. Next one is main assembly or the frame, main assembly or the frame on which this diesel generator is being connected. So here you can see the different numberings. That means this is the one, that is nothing but the main engine. The second one is, this one is the second one, that is the alternator. Next, the third one is this one, that is fuel system. This is nothing but the fuel tank, which you can see it here. This fuel tank will store the diesel. Next, fourth one is voltage regulator. This is the voltage regulator. Voltage regulator. Fifth one is cooling and the exhaust system. This is the cooling and the exhaust system. Next one is lubrication system. Here you can see the lubrication system. That means the lubricating oil can be placed here. Next one is battery charger. Here is your seventh one, that is the battery charger. Next one is the control panel. This box is nothing but the control panel, which is used to switch on and switch off the device. Next one is frame, that is this one. This one is your main assembly or frame. So these are the different parts or different components which are being used in the diesel generator. Next one is engine. What is an engine? Engine is a source of an input mechanical energy to the generator. The size of the engine is directly proportional to the maximum power output of a generator. There are several factors that are need to keep in mind while accessing an engine to your generator. The manufacturer engine should be consulted and obtain full engine operation before connecting to the generator. Alternator. The second part is alternator. What is alternator? Alternator is known as gen head. That is a part of a generator that produces the electrical output from the mechanical input. It contains an assembly of stationary as well as moving parts encased in a housing. That means in the same casing, the alternator is being connected. The assembly of stationary as well as moving parts. The stationary you will call it as stator, and the moving part you will call it as rotor. The both are being encased in the same frame. So the components work together to cause relative movement between the magnetic as well as the electric fields, which in turn generates the electricity. Stator. There is, as I said, there are two parts, that is stator and rotor. Stator is the stationary part, and it contains the set of electrical conductors wound in coils over an iron core. Next one is rotor. This is a moving component which produces a rotating magnetic field. The third one is the connecting terminals, that is the positive as well as the negative terminals. The third one is fuel system. The fuel tank, which is being shown in this two pictures, which can store the diesel. The fuel tank is usually has a sufficient capacity to keep the generator operation for about 6 to 8 hours. That means in order to run the generator for 6 to 8 hours, the amount of diesel which is being needed is being stored in this tank. In the case of small generator, the fuel tank is a part of a generator's base or is mounted on the top of the generator frame. That means on the top of the generator frame, the tank is being mounted. For commercial applications, it may be necessary to erect and install an external fuel tank. All such installations are subject to the approval of the city planning division. Here you have seen two different types of diesel tanks which are being placed in the diesel engines or diesel generators. Common features of the fuel systems include the following. That means the pipe connections from tank to engine, the supply fuel from the tank to engine, and return line directs from fuel to the tank. Ventilation. Next one is common features. Next common feature is ventilation pipe. The ventilation pipe for the fuel tank. The fuel tank has a ventilation pipe to prevent the build-up of the pressure or the vacuum during the refilling and drainage of the tank. That means when you refill the fuel tank, to ensure the metal to metal contact between the filler nozzle, the fuel tank, to avoid the sparks. The third point is overflow connection from fuel tank to the drain pipe. This is required so that any overflow during the refilling of the tank does not cause spillage of the liquid on the generator set. Fuel pump. This next point is fuel pump. This transfers fuel from the main storage tank to the day tank. The fuel pump is typically electrically operated. The next one is fuel water separator. This separates the water and the foreign matter from the liquid fuel to protect the other components of the generator from corrosion as well as from the contamination. The last point is fuel injector. This atomizes the liquid fuel and sprays the required amount of fuel into the combustion chamber of the engine. So these are the different features of the fuel systems in the fuel tanks. Next one is voltage regulator. Voltage regulator regulates the output voltage of the generator. The mechanism is described below. The mechanism is like the first one is voltage regulator, second one is exciter windings, the third one is rotating rectifier, and then rotor or the armature connection. The first one is voltage regulator. The conversion AC voltage and it converts it to the DC current. That means the voltage regulator, or you will call it as rectifier, which converts AC to DC. So first the conversion is being done, that is AC to DC, and the voltage regulator takes it as a small portion of the generator output AC voltage and converts it to the DC current. The voltage regulator is then fed to the DC current to a set of secondary windings of the stator. That means after converting the AC into DC, the connection is being given to the stator windings. Now, the exciter windings. Exciter winding means the conversion of DC current to AC current. The exciter windings now function similar to the primary stator windings and generates an AC current. The exciter windings are connected to units known as rotating rectifiers. So, here again the conversion DC current to AC current is being done. Third one is rotating rectifiers. That means the conversion of AC current to DC current. These rectify the AC currents generated by the exciter windings and convert it to the DC current. This current is fed to the rotor again. So in this way there are three to four types, that is voltage regulator, exciter windings, rotor rectifiers, as well as rotor or armature connections. Next one is cooling and exhaust system. Here you can see a cooling or an exhaust system. The continuous usage of generator causes its various components to get heated up. In order to cool these devices, it is essential to have a cooling or a ventilation system. The raw or fresh air is sometimes used, and sometimes hydrogen is also used as a coolant. So, very large generators and small power plants often have a large cooling towers next to them. For other common applications, both residential as well as industrial, a standard radiator and a fan is being mounted on the generator and works as the primary cooling system. Next one is exhaust system. In exhaust system, the exhaust fumes emitted by the generator are just like exhaust from the any other diesel or a gasoline engine and contain highly toxic chemicals that need to be properly managed. So, in order to reduce the air pollution around the diesel generator, in order to reduce the pollution, we need to properly manage the gases which are being released from these diesel engines. Hence, it is necessary to install an adequate exhaust system to dispose of an exhaust gas. So, in order to dispose exhaust gases, we need to connect an adequate exhaust system. The exhaust pipes are usually made up of cast iron or steel. So, by using the cast iron or the steel pipes, we usually send these harmful gases outside into the air. Next one is lubricating system. Since the generator comprises moving parts, as I said, stator and rotor both will be there, and rotor will be the rotating part in the generator, so that it requires a lubrication to ensure the durability and smooth operation for a long time. That means, in order to increase the lifetime of the rotor and for long duration operation, for smooth operation, we need to lubricate it. So, generator engine is lubricated by an oil stored in a pump. So, here you can see the oil filler. So, by using this oil filler, which is being connected to the different places here, by using these oil filler here as well as here, using these pipes, the oil is being sent to different places and the lubrication is being done. Next one is battery charger. The start function of a generator is battery operated. So, the battery keeps the generator battery, the battery charger keeps the generator battery charged by supplying it with a precise or a float voltage. If the float voltage is very low, the battery will remain uncharged. So, if the float voltage is very high, it will shorten the life of the battery. So, based on this, we will decide the battery charger, whether it should be a very high value or a low value. Generally, the DC output voltage of a battery charger is set to 2.33 volts per cell, which is the precise float voltage of a lead acid battery. So, mainly we will be using the lead acid batteries with a voltage of 2.33 volts per cell. And the battery charger has an isolated DC voltage output that does interfere with the normal functioning of a generator. Next one is control panel. This is the user interface of a generator and contains provisions for electrical outlets as well as for the different controls. The electrical start and electrical shutdown, the engine gauges as well as the generator gauges, and the other controls like phase selector switch, frequency switch, and engine control switch. So there may be different types of switches which are used to control the different parts of a generator. Main assembly or a frame. All generators are stationary. All generators, portable or stationary, have customized housings to provide the structural base support. This frame also allows the generator to be earthened for safety. For protection purposes or for transportation purposes or for safety purpose, we need to use these main frame or main assembly for a generator. The DG system consists of different things like DG supply, DG exhaust works, as well as allied electrical systems and HSD tanks, and different permissions from different government organizations need to be taken in order to install a DG system. Different manufacturers in India for diesel generators are being displayed here. In next topic, I would like to discuss about UPS system. Thank you.